What's up, everybody? This is Cha Cha Mystique, and we had another Wednesday from your favorite WCW. And ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to my lovely co-host.
Hey, it's JIG 3125. What's going on, young world? The world is yours.
Yes, and we have a dope, legendary, classic interview.
Say what?
Yes, we have a thespian,
A
an
thespian?
actor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's been in so many classic joints like the Five Heartbeats,
Okay.
like Speed,
Okay.
like
You
Seven.
gonna tell me I'm gonna get you sucker too?
Yes, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Oh, okay. You gonna try to tell me he was in Boston Up too?
He was in Boston Up too.
Alright. Not two, but Boston Up.
No, Boston Up, not two, but
Alright.
Boston Up.
Alright.
Yes, and he did Shakespeare plays, and we're gonna talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hawthorne James in the building.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's
hello.
up, Rob?
Yeah, so what's going on with you?
I'm on the phone with you. That's what's going on with me.
Good. Yes, I mean, you had so many classic roles. I remember when I first seen you in person, they was telling me, I was at a red carpet event because he's in a new project that just came out, and they was the PR people was telling me who he was. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting ready. So then I looked and I'm like, that's Big Red. I know who that is. So I'm pretty sure that name follows you everywhere.
That might as well be on my birth certificate.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and I mean, and I'm pretty sure people be quoting your lines to you, like that 9 to 5 line.
Oh, all day, every day.
Yes.
For
We get,
almost going,
can we hear you
just
say
for
it
over
one time?
25 years now. Say what?
Can we hear you say it one time?
No, you can say it. You know what it is.
Well, our business hours is from 8 to 9 every Wednesday.
Alrighty, that's what I'm talking about.
So what got you started being an actor?
Well, I've been on stage since I was a kid. First time I was on a play, I was 5 years old, and it continued on from there. It's just something that was always on my mind, just being in plays and stuff. And then then going to college, because I have a bachelor's from Notre Dame in theater, I have a master's from University of Michigan in theater, and then I taught for 2 years at Illinois State University in the theater department, and I got scholarship offers from Yale and Cornell to work on my doctorate, but I moved to LA after I taught for a couple of years, and then Ted Lange, who played the bartender on the Love Boat, got me a scholarship to go to London and study at the London Shakespeare Academy. So it's just one of those things that I decided to, after I got through teaching for 2 years, I knew I didn't want to be a teacher, because that was just too much, because I had taught everything from kindergarten all the way through the university, because I was a substitute teacher my last year at Notre Dame, and I just knew I didn't want to teach. So it was just, let me give it a shot, see if I can do this to make money at it, and good thing I did, because I found out I made a few dollars here and there.
Yeah, you definitely did. Like, you was in a great blockbuster, Speed. When the movie Speed came out, that was so huge in the movie theaters, and it did so well. I mean, but then at the same time, throughout your career, I noticed you have so much range. I mean, you could make people laugh. You could be the villain. I mean, you're so versatile. Where do you get these inspirations from some of these characters?
Well, that's just what actors are supposed to do for a job. And I take pride in doing my job. And it's fun for me. I don't want to be the same person. If I want to be the same person, I'd work a regular job. And no, that's not me. I want to be somebody else all the time. That's why I study and I watch and I observe people all the time. So, never know where you're going to pick up a little inspiration for a character, 5, 6, 10 years down the line, with a walk or the way somebody talks or something. So it's just fun trying to piece together characters. You start with the written script. You see what's on that page, and then you build from there. If it's not on the page, you can't do it. But I've been blessed enough to know that it's most of my stuff has been on that page, and I've been able to take it from there and do certain things with it.
So you said you get inspiration. How did you get inspiration to teach Snoop how to be a pimp in a movie called Boston Up?
Well, see, that's coming. You know, I was born and raised in Chicago.
Okay, Chi-town.
So when I was a kid, we had everybody in the neighborhood because there was no make it and then move out the neighborhood. No, you became a doctor, you stayed in the neighborhood, or you became a lawyer, you stayed in the neighborhood, or you became a plumber, you know, electrician, garbage man, whatever it may be. Pimps and prostitutes, they were all in the neighborhood. Okay. So you get to observe things all the time. So as a kid, I got to say, you know what, I don't want to be a pimp because they work too hard. You know.
So pimping ain't easy.
And that's the way, you know, as a kid, you got to choose. You know, nowadays, if you live in the hood, how many other people, you know, as a kid, you can't just look and see the professionals because all the professionals have left. And all that's left is people that know how to hustle. Yes. And hustling, by what I mean by hustling, is doing illegal things, as opposed to showing kids that you can make money and keep money in your pocket. But you know, so I grew up with pimps. I saw them. I observed them. As an adult, I'm around them. Having the education and all that kind of stuff, I'm comfortable in every position. You know, whether it's be talking with pimps or we're talking with, we're talking with doctors or other professional people. I'm comfortable in every position because I've been in every position. Okay. So in order to do that thing for Snoop, that bossing up, I knew what pimps do. I've been around them. I know how they act. I'm not one, don't want to be one, never had the desire to be one, but as an actor, you pick up little things, you know, and put them into characters, like I say. So that's how that's how I worked on that character with Snoop. So and little by little, you know, working rehearsals and stuff, it all came together.
So that part where you was eating the orange pills and everything, that was just for character. You don't really do that in real life, right?
No, I can't eat no orange peel. When I was sitting there eating when I eat that orange peel, I said, this is nasty. But the character.
I can't tell it was nasty how
you
was doing
so
it.
I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so working with different people like Snoop, like Keanu Reeves, and even with Morgan Freeman, who do you like, or what was it most easier working with?
Well, I've been pretty fortunate working with people. I haven't been around that many jackasses.
Okay, great.
So, you know, you get different things from everybody because everybody's a different human being. So I got something different from Keanu than I got from Sandra Bullock. I got something different from Sandra Bullock than I got from Morgan Freeman, and on and on. You can name them. I'm learning from everybody. I'm watching everybody do what they do, and you know, whether it be as an actor or just as a human being. I'm sitting there watching and learning from everybody. So there's nobody I like that I've patterned myself after. It's just the fact that I pick pieces from people that say, oh, that's very good. I like the way they do that. I like the way, you know, the movement of that person, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I just enjoy working with everybody. It's like the first union film I did was The Color Purple. And to observe Spielberg working, you know, that's how when I directed my first feature, it was like, do I know what I'm doing? And the first day on the set, it was like I started doing things, and I said, yeah, I know what I'm doing because I've worked with the best, and I've watched them. I don't sit in my dressing room. I'm always out on the set watching everything and everybody. I get my makeup put on, get my clothes on, and then I'm out watching. I'm watching Oliver Stone, because, you know, watching Robert Townsend, watching Keenan Ivory Wayans, and like I say, I've been in 2 Spielberg films. One of the only actors in the world that has ever been in 2 different Spielberg pictures. And so I been blessed and got to be around these people enough to pick up things and pick up that knowledge. And also at the same time, just remember, my last 9-to-5 job that I had, I was one of the highest black executives in Hollywood at one point. So I know everything about this business. There's nothing in this business that I haven't done, from writing, producing, directing, to acting, to being in the ivory towers. I know it all. And there aren't, how many other actors are there in the world that can say that have been in those meetings when they're making decisions about people's lives? And I've been able to affect that in a certain way. So that, you know, in a nutshell, that's who I am in this business.
All right, so being that you worked in many different genres of movies, What was more fun for you, so to speak? Because I mean, I'm gonna get you sucker, and some of your earlier work can consider like the black exploitation type of movies, and then you've been in major blockbuster films as well. So what would you prefer? And like, if you the next project that you will work on, what would you like to do? Get back to the I'm gonna get you sucker types, or like the action movies like Speed?
Well, I enjoy doing it all, but at this point in my life, what I really like doing is doing projects that help black people and show black people who we really are.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
right now. I'm working on a film called Flint.
Say that again.
Yeah, it's just right now I'm working on a film called Flint Tale,
Okay.
and the director, writer, producer is a man named Mark Casey, and he's done several films before. But this is about the Flint water crisis, and this character that I'm doing was the chief of police who got framed and had to reevaluate his whole life. And we talk about the Flint water crisis. We talk about the politics of it all. And this man is turning his life around and is helping, is discovering how corrupt and how much of a part of that corruption he was with blinders on, not understanding. All he wanted to be was successful, as opposed to helping his people. And that's what I'm exploring right now. How do we help each other? How do we talk to each other? Because everybody always talks about, whoa, man, well, what's your solution? Well, nobody has the solution. Nobody has the solution.
How we're going to make it better.
How we're going to make it better and how we can help each other. And life is so simple sometimes. We make things too complicated. I mean, it's like if you can't do anything else but take an extra 10 minutes to go an extra 10 minutes to that black business and support that black business so that they can grow, so that eventually you won't have to go 10 minutes. They'll bring if they make enough money, they'll bring their expansion into your neighborhood. Therefore, we're successful with each other. If you can't do anything else but that, it's like the NFL. I haven't watched the NFL in 2 years. And nobody, who knows that but very few people. But I know in my heart, I'm not supporting anybody that doesn't support us.
I know that's right.
So how do you feel about all this new blackface and lynch ropes and all of that being embedded into current fashion right now?
Because they're sending you a message. They tell you every day. See, this is the thing. I go back to what I'm talking about, Flint Tales, and what I said when I started this off by saying that I only care about projects that help uplift black folks, and specifically black men, because black men are being so marginalized right now. I mean, they want to put you in a dress to take away your manhood. Nothing wrong. If you want to put on a dress, knock yourself out. That's not my thing. And I don't care what you do in your life. But as a black man, I'm proud to be a black man, and take all the responsibilities of all that entails, of being able to lead my neighborhood, of being able to lead my people, and show and treat women with respect, and have a woman by my side to be my equal. But I am a man, and I am proud of that. Now they're trying to make you unproud of your manhood, and that's not going to happen with me. The important thing is for me to be able to show people in my films, and that happens to be my gift to the world, is being able to produce and write film and television. So I'm not going to give you less than what I can do. That's the important thing with me.
Now, you said you taught before. Have you ever thought about doing it again? Maybe like at LaGuardia, or like have a whole fame type of situation where you teaching new actors how to be actors?
Well, I've done the workshops before. I can't commit to it first full time because I work too much.
Okay.
But I have done individual workshops, and I enjoy that because with all that knowledge that I have in my head, I want to be able to pass it along. I don't want to die with knowledge in my head. What good is that? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, I go back all the time. So we have to help each other. We have to grow, and we have to learn to trust each other. And I don't care if nobody else believes that or not. That's what I believe. And that's what I'm going to do. Because at the end of the day, I have to answer to my God. And when he says, what did you do? I can say, this is what I did. Now, you may not agree with it. Okay, fine. But in my mind, my conscience says, this is what I have to do. So I try and pass this knowledge on in any way, shape, or form or manner that I can, which is why I'm on the radio with you.
Yes, and trust me, I totally appreciate you even taking time out your life to even give me these few minutes to talk about your life, because on some real shit, I'm sorry, I've called you Big Red because it's so natural for me, but Hawthorne, I mean, I grew up watching you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just seeing you that day meant so much to me, and inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing as a media personality. I felt like, you know, this is where I need to be, you know, and you're so humble about it. Like, I meet a lot of people, famous people all the time, and you get different reactions, you know, from people. You know, some people may be standoffish, some people maybe not have the time or whatever, but you took time to talk to me that day, and we exchanged words, we exchanged information. I ain't have to run through so many people just to get to you, even now. So I really am blessed to even have this situation with you right now. But on a lighter note, I ask this question to all my guests, but I usually interview music artists, and I always ask them, who is their top 5, dead or alive? Now, being that you're an actor, such a legendary and influential one, I would love to know, who is your top 5 that you were inspired by, dead or alive?
My inspirations oh man, it's in any field is what you're talking about.
An actor, being an actor, like you growing up watching movies or even TV shows, who were the top
Being
5
an
people that motivated you?
That's a tough question because a collective, my motivator right now, and I have to explain this, is Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
Wow,
Not the guy
that's
who
a good
stands up.
one. That's a good one.
My grandfather loved Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, not the guy that guy who's a Republican and talks to the chair, but I'm talking about the artist.
Yeah.
Who gets to direct, produce, and act in things that he wants to act in. And that's the thing. He picks and chooses the things that are important to him. And see, here we go back. See, this is me. I'm going back again because he promotes. It's like the films that he does about World War II and stuff. He makes his own people look heroic. See, we don't do that. If you look at us, when we get an opportunity to write and produce and direct, what we do is we make movies about World War II, like Red Tail, and that Spike Lee movie, the Bells of St. Mary.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Now wait a minute, wait a minute now. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm going back. I'm doing something a little different than what most people do. So I'm looking at things as more propaganda. Because if you look at those two films, they showing black men. They show one black man who's flying a plane at 300 miles an hour at 3,000, 5,000 feet in the air. He sees a white woman, and he falls in love. Yeah. What in the hell? You can't see white women from an airplane. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they go back and they fight about the white woman. When he did Bells of St. Mary, they showed 6 black men instead of showing the heroism that Patton said we wouldn't have won the tank battles without those black men. What you see is 6 black men hovering, hiding from the war, and fighting over a white woman. Yeah, those are the films that we get when we get them. But when Eastwood does his World War II, and I just watched the movie about the conscientious objector, that guy, Mel Gibson directed it. They're heroes. They get in a battle, they fight, they do their duty, they believe in what they believe in, and yet black men are cowards. You see what I'm saying to you? Understand? Not one time did any of those black men and mothers or their girlfriends who are anxiously awaiting their return, who are dying every time they don't hear from them at home. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's the things that we have to change. It's propaganda. Because every time you turn on a TV, every time you read a magazine, every time you read a newspaper, they're saying to black people, you ain't worth a damn, 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 you ain't worth a damn. That's propaganda. You're being programmed to believe that you aren't worth shit. We have to stop this and start making our own movies and television and show us as heroes. Show us who we really are. Because you don't believe that crap that you see on that TV about who women are. Do you, Chaka?
No.
No.
And I think sometimes it be so much more to the story that it meets the eye. And now that you are talking about that, because I did think that St. Anne's was kind of nice. I was like, oh, and then especially coming from Spike Lee, I never seen a movie like that coming from Spike Lee. And now that you said that, got me thinking. And usually, you know, Spike Lee, he's usually the opposite. He's bringing that rawness, that in your face racism, and us. How we deal with it and how we combat it, and you know what the other side may feel about us. He's usually good with those type of things. But now that you're saying it like that, I'm thinking back and I'm like, yeah, they were all these men trying to sleep with one white woman, and they in the middle of a war and stuff like that. They should have just stuck to the fight. They should have just stuck to the heroism of it. So now I see what you're saying. I really do.
and so. That's what I'm constantly harping on about being programmed. The whole world is being programmed. You have to remember, that's why Koreans can come over here and open their shop. That's why the Middle Easterners can come over here and open a shop in your neighborhood and treat you like dirt. Because that's what they have learned to think that's who you are. Because film and television is the most powerful medium in the world in forming people's opinions. You have to understand this. This is propaganda.
Yeah, I do agree with that, because going back to like the immigrants when they opened up business, I remember when Trump shut down the airports and didn't want nobody coming in or out the country, and the Arabs protested, and how they protested was they stopped their businesses for like a day or two, and I'm thinking to myself, when have and ever in history black people and millions, thousands was able to shut down like that?
Exactly.
We was never able to do that. And then not only that, we were still too blind to take that opportunity to open our own. Because a lot of people, I used to see a lot of people on social media, oh, well, how I'm going to go to Ott, where I'm going to get my sandwich from, where I'm going to get my lunch from. And I'm like, this is your opportunity to go get that food cart. Why you can't sell your soul food at a food cart like how they be selling their halal food at their food cart? Why you can't buy? This is your opening. This is, because it's shut down. All right, this is their space. And nobody thought of it like that.
Yes, they have thought about that. See, that's you being propagandized and not understanding that people have done that. Let me start this on a different little level here, because there's two things. I don't want to forget my train of thought here. But you have to remember Tulsa, Oklahoma. You have to remember Rosewood. Every time that we start to get something, they tear it down because of the fear. They bomb us, like the movement in Philadelphia. Every time people start thinking away, start pulling away from their world, they kill it. So you're taught that if you pull away from them, they're going to kill you. Also, I was reading just today, I was on Facebook, and I saw this article about how Anthony Bourdain was talking about how Mexicans are the hardworking and blah, 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 blah. Well, I watched the show. I used to watch that show all the time. And I saw a show in which he said that if you're in Florida, you can't even get a job unless you speak Spanish. Where in the world? And he laughed about it. They thought that was funny. Him and the Latino guy that was that. They thought that was funny. Where's the law written that you can't get a job unless you are bilingual? And when you're in Florida, black people and other people have hard time getting a job unless they speak Spanish. When I'm in LA, if you're in McDonald's, unless you speak Spanish, you can't get a job. Wow. See, and that's the propaganda that you keep getting thrown at you. Well, why even try? If you can't get the job, why even try? That's why it's important for us to be self-sufficient. to do our own thing. But at the same time, you have to recognize every time you try and do your own business, and I know people in Chicago who have bought businesses, done their own business, they get run out because you become a threat to the majority of the people in this country
and
in this world.
The narrative too. It changes the narrative because every group has a saying about them, but then black people have the negative tones. You know, we lie, we cheat, we over sexualize. You know, we have all these babies. They don't have good husbands. They don't have no fathers. You know, but then you talk about Mexicans and they the hard workers. They talk about Asians, oh, they hard workers, they good with food and this, that, and the third. So, you know, just the view of them, you know, allows you to either accept or not accept. And when the world looks at us, we're so criminalized and demonized, and it's really the other way around. So I totally understand, and it's sad. It's really sad. And you honestly open my eyes to so much more. Now I'm gonna be watching movies differently now. Like, oh, that's some bullshit.
I mean, like, even with sports, because we had the Negro Leagues, we had the ABA, we had basketball, and they wanted to be so included into what the white man was doing. We gave up our power and we gave it to them, and they took over. And now the thing going on with Kaepernick, they banning people for taking a knee. We can't really speak how we want to speak when we already had that power in the beginning.
And I'm starting to see that same thing happen with social media. A lot of people's posts and different things get deleted randomly. They get notifications saying that it's offensive to the community, especially when you're talking about how black people are being exploited and disenfranchised. Like, we can't even talk openly on social media before it gets flagged. So, and I think that's part of the program.
It is part of the program. So I think it really is. And you have to remember that the FBI now considers, what do they call it now, black nationalists as a threat to the country. Whoa, slow down. You ain't called the KKK a threat to the country, but you call people that are positive about their blackness a threat to the country. You see what happens all the time?
Yes.
You have to understand this. This is a game. You cannot not think. They think 24/7. We have to think 38. We can't stop thinking. See, I used to say they're playing chess and we're playing checkers. I don't even say that anymore. I say they're playing chess and we're playing tiddlywink.
I know that's right.
I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
No, it's not funny.
Yeah, I totally get it, because even now, and people don't even talk about it, they neutralize Black Lives Matter. You don't hear Black Lives Matter talking or marching or saying anything anymore, and they killed one of their leaders. They try to say he died through a drive-by, but they neutralized that whole situation.
You know, 4 people who have been who are Ferguson, who are leaders in Ferguson. 4 of them are dead. 4. Think about that. How is that possible? 4 of the leaders of the Ferguson movement are dead now. You think that's a coincidence?
No.
No.
And they killed the black men, because everybody be trying to say the Black Lives Matter started from black women, but it was also a few black men, and they killed those black men. Nobody talks about it. That didn't hit mainstream at all. There was no memes, no outrage, no nothing about it. And then the Black Lives Matter damn near disappeared. And then when we do talk about Black Lives Matter, it's more of a hashtag as opposed to all the stuff that they were doing, like the riots in Baltimore and you know, the big stuff they was on the front lines for, and that you don't see that anymore, and it was in a blink of an eye. But the thing about it, nobody talked about it. Nobody even cares that they're gone.
Yeah. No, and see that. Let me go back to this radio program. How important these things. Because I do these things off and on. I got somebody called me and asked me today to do one of their shows. I do these because of the fact that you can. This is different than the 60s, 70s, and 80s. There was very little communication. I remember when I grew up, there were 3 TV stations: CBS, NBC, and ABC, and maybe PBS. They were able to control what you thought when you thought it. Now with the advent of the internet, you can't control my thought process anymore. because I can pick up my computer and go to any subject that I want to research. That's why your radio program is so important. I tell black people all the time, if you have an internet or radio show, you are important because you are now disseminating alternative information. I can now speak to you, and I can speak to whatever audience that you have, and I can make them start thinking for themselves. And I say to you, if you're listening to this, stop talking about what we can't do and start talking about what we can do. Well, every time we turn around, we're, oh man, we black, we can only, Obama can't do much so much. He can't, he was president of everybody, you know. Oh, the hell with that. He was president of everybody, and yet he was able to do gay and lesbians. He was able to do Latinos. He did everything for everybody but us. Let's stop thinking about what we can't do and start thinking about what we can do.
Yes.
And like I say, even if it's just going to support one little black business, at least you're making a positive impact. And then you will grow from there. I support you. I support my own people. I take my Hollywood money and I hang out in the hood. I take that Hollywood money and I go right to a bar in Hollywood. I mean, in the hood when I want to party. That's what I do, and I constantly do that. I constantly support. It's like why I did that movie in New York. Wasn't no money in that movie in New York for me to do. But it's a black woman who said, can you come do me? Can you be in my film because I'm trying to do something? And I say, okay, this is something different. This is something positive. I want to help you. And that's what I believe in.
That's amazing. We gotta tidy up this interview. I could talk to you for hours, and we gotta have you again. And the next time you come into New York, you gotta come and sit in our chair with us, you know. But you know, we gotta get going. But before we go, is there any? Because you said so many messages. Is there anything else that you would like to say to the audience, and especially actors who's coming up and need a little bit more push when they feeling down?
Yeah, let me tell you what happens with me. Is there were times, and I could have gone to law school. I was accepted in law school, and I chose not to go for it. There were times when I'd be at the gas station, and I'd be counting my pennies out, 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, trying to figure out how I can put enough gas in my car so I can get to the next interview. And some homeless person will come up to me and say, yo, man, I really like your work. Keep it up. You represent. And they walk away. I can suck it up now and say, okay, all right, then maybe there's all worth it. And I suck it up and I go on another day. And those are black people who have kept me in this business. It is black people who have made me believe in me, who have told me, yeah, man, we're watching you. We love what you do. You represent to us. So any actor that's out there, don't let nobody turn your head and say, no, you can't do it. If you'll find out if you're good at it or not eventually. But let no man tell you what you can and can't do. And that goes for everybody else in the world. If you want to be a scientist, if you want to be the best plumber in the world, let no man tell you you can't. Open your own business. Don't work for nobody else. If you got the smarts, open your own business, do it right, be customer friendly, and don't screw anybody. But we can do this. Let's talk about what we can do instead of what we can't do.
Yes. Thank you so much again. I mean, I am so humbled. I am so blessed to sit here and have this beautiful conversation. Like, I've learned a lot from you in these few couple of minutes, and I hope one day we could do this again, and salute you, and I can't wait to see what next comes from you. I know it'll be so dope and great and inspiring. You are such a household name, and I grew up watching you, and that's how I was like, oh, I know who that is. That's Big Red. You will always be Big Red to me. I swear, you will always be that. And I'm even more excited now to be a fan, to have the opportunity to even get to know who you are. Like, this is truly a blessing for me, and I just want to thank you, and I don't even know what else to say.
You said it already.
No, it's all good. And I may be in New York in May, because I may be doing a play in May, May 4th in New York. So I may be in New York in May.
All right, so keep in touch with me. I want to, just let me know the dates, and I will definitely come out, bring some people out, maybe schedule for the show, and we lit all over again. Okay?
Okay, well, always check my Instagram and my Facebook page. Instagram is Hawthorne2995. So check those out. I post everything, just in case I forget or something, Chata.
Okay.
I want to come to the studio and sit with you.
Okay, yes, we definitely have to do that. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hawthorne James. And we be right back. We got a dope interview from a dope artist. Prophet is definitely in the building.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about DMC and so much more. We'll be right back with it, though. Let's get it.